Welcome back to the Security Financial Bank and Jerry Thompson Insurance Agency halftime show, brought to you by Security Financial Bank and the Jerry Thompson Insurance Agency. Halftime of tonight's Durand Spring Valley boys football game. And joining us right now is Durand-Arkansaw School Superintendent Greg Doverspike. Talk about the school board meeting from earlier this week and all the preparations for the school year. And Superintendent Doverspike, thanks for joining us. What happened to the summer?
It's a good question. It is kind of June felt like it went really slow, and then July and August has just flown by. So, but no, it's actually been a really good start. We've had staff in this week with PD, professional development, and in-service, and it's been a really great week. A lot of positive energy in the building, so I think we're off to a really great start right now.
And with the school board meeting from earlier this week, we had a school board member resign. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Tammy Hoyt submitted her letter of resignation effective the end of the meeting on Wednesday night. So obviously we want to thank Tammy for her many years of service to the district. She's been on the board all 11 years I've been here and was on before I got here. So, she's put in a tremendous amount of time related to the school board, and we just want to thank her for all of her time and commitment. It's kind of a thankless job, but she's done a great job, and she's definitely going to be missed.
And so what will be the process now to replace Tammy's on the board? Was she an at-large, or was she for a certain section of the district?
Yeah, all of our seats are apportioned, so they're all based on location. So her and Lori Myers actually serve on the board from the city of Durand and the town of Durand seat. So we've actually posted the position. It's gone out on our website, and I believe it went out on our social media account as well. And that'll be in the paper for the next couple of weeks. And all interested parties that reside within the city of Durand or the town of Durand can send a letter of interest to the school district, the district office, P.O. Box 190, by, I believe, September 9th at 4:30 is the cutoff date. And then the board will meet the following Wednesday. We have our next board meeting on the 14th of September. And depending upon the number of candidates, we'll either do an interview process if we have more than one candidate. If not, then the board will decide kind of the candidate that they want to select, and then we'll hopefully swear that candidate in on the 14th, and there'll be a sitting member of the school board starting on September 14th after the process. So if you're interested, by all means, reach out, send me an email, give the office a call, or if you have any questions, or if you are interested in the position, you can either email me a letter or drop it off or send it in the mail. Any of those things related to kind of declaring your interest in the position, and we'll kind of go from there with the process.
Talking with Durand-Arkansaw School Superintendent Greg Doverspike during our halftime show of today's Durand Spring Valley football game. The board also approved the Safe to Return school plan after a public hearing, but again, this was something that basically just was to check off a box, and that's for that ESSER money, right?
Yeah. In order for us to receive the ESSER 3 money, which is our COVID relief money, we have to every 6 months formally have a public hearing and approve our return to school plan. As I said at the meeting, the return to school plan really is basically gone back to normal. We're asking people, masking is optional, as it's been for a while. You do not have to quarantine if you're a close contact. And then in relationship to if you're COVID positive, you can return to school once you're symptom free and fever free for 24 hours, which is exactly the same language we use for strep throat, influenza, flu, any of the other common illnesses that we see on an annual basis. So it's really just a formal process that we have to go through as a district. But in terms of, are we doing anything differently because of COVID to start this year? We're not going back to what we had to do the last couple of years. We're actually kind of going back to what is normal, or what would be considered the new normal.
Talking with Durand-Arkansaw School Superintendent Greg Doverspike about the school board meeting from earlier this week. And Superintendent Doverspike, we've talked about this a little bit before with the challenge of getting staff, and with open positions. Some districts are having hundreds of positions open. So obviously, those are larger districts. But at least for Durand-Arkansaw School District, again, a bunch of folks were brought on board here over the last board meeting, and that is actually some very good news, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously, as most professions, or pretty much all professions of everybody I've talked to, we are seeing a teacher shortage, just like everybody else is seeing a shortage in their respective profession. And education is no different. It's a very difficult hiring season for us right now. Positions are hard to come by, or teachers are hard to come by to fill positions. So we felt lucky that we had a couple late resignations and we were able to fill those. So that's been a positive. So right now, actually, as we sit here on Friday morning, we've actually we have an agreement in place with Elmwood to provide the chemistry support that we need. The situation with Osseo Fairchild we talked about last month kind of fell through, but we have an agreement with Elmwood to provide chemistry to our students 2 periods a day. So, right now we are fully staffed. We have a couple of, from a teaching perspective, we have a couple paras left to fill, which isn't uncommon this time of year, but, and we're abnormal. I know I have several colleagues that are struggling to fill positions still as we speak today. And you mentioned the larger schools, Eau Claire, Menominee, they have, quite a few positions left to fill. And I think the struggle you're starting to see is, as long with that as well, is also trying to keep the ones that you have, because the larger schools are coming in and offering some things that, quite frankly, the smaller schools can't match. And so, it's a difficult situation, and everybody's trying to do the best, but that's where I think as school districts, we need to start working together instead of just stealing from each other. We need to be more creative in solutions to provide the best education for everybody, not just worry about ourselves, and what's the best interest of all the kids across the area, the region, the state, instead of just worried about what's best for my little cocoon. I understand we all want to try to do what's best for our own kids, but in the end, it's what's important for everybody, because all kids contribute to the society in the future that makes us a better place.
The district, the school board did also discuss the creation of a loyalty stipend to try to keep that retention. So how will that work?
Yeah, we're going to a loyalty stipend, where we're going to give one-time payments to individuals when they meet milestone years like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Every 5 years, they'll receive a one-time payment for being loyal to the district. The one difference between our loyalty stipend and some other school districts, there's not a ton of school districts that have something like this, but ours is a loyalty stipend, not necessarily a longevity stipend, and the difference may seem minuscule, but the way ours works is if you finish your 25th year at the end of this year, hypothetically, and you start your 26th next year, we will give you your one-time payment for completing your 25th year. So it's not like you can complete your 25th year and then quit and go somewhere else and you still get your money. You have to actually come back the next year to start, with the one caveat being those that are fortunate enough to be able to retire at the end of their 25th, 30th year, whatever. We're not going to hold them hostage. We'll still honor their long-term loyalty to the district as a retired employee. But, this is eligible to all employees, and we're just trying to kind of retain what we have, become attractive, and also just thank those that have been loyal to our district for a while. And I think it's a great move by the school board to once again try to show our employees that we care. And like I said, the market's getting such where, private sector is also coming after teachers, and so we have to be creative in what we do to try to retain what we have.
Meanwhile, the Human Resources Committee and the board also talked about the professional and support staff salary schedule elimination. Is that another way to try to attract people? Because I know that if you have that schedule set in stone, it may not fit a Brian who's got this amount of experience, or a Greg who may be just coming in. There might be some mismatches here. Was that the reason behind that?
Partially, yeah. I mean, I think it kind of moves us closer to how probably private sector handles employees. We don't have we got rid of the salary structure per se, where, you get paid this and then next year is this and next year is this. We're going to a 3% increase on salary for all employees, but like you said, we're eliminating the idea. So it just gives administration a greater flexibility when we're negotiating with individuals to bring them on board. We're not necessarily tied to a structure. And I think it gives us greater flexibility, and it also gives employees probably a little better opportunity to advance. It kind of came about after some conversations with an employee group about best ways to go forward. And I just think at the end, it kind of gets us closer to a private sector concept. and away from the traditional salary schedule that's always been a fixture in public education. And I don't think it's a bad move. I think it's the right move for us to continue to try to support employee growth, support our current employees, and also, help retain and recruit better employees going forward, and just continue to evolve as an institution.
That is Durand-Arkansaw School Superintendent Greg Doverspike. You're listening to the Jerry Thompson Insurance Agency and Security Financial Bank halftime show. We have a second half action coming up with Durand and Spring Valley. It's Durand Panther boys football here on WRDN.